The Central Bank of Nigeria Governor, Malam Lamido Sanusi, appeared before the Senate Committee on Finance, investigating the issues surrounding the $49.8 billion NNPC unremitted funds today. He took his time to state that despite the agreed reconciliation of $47 billion NNPC still has to account for $20 billion that has not been remitted to the Federation account.
I personally have read the submission when immediately submitted to us, and observed, and I indicated it in my speech, there are matters which relate to what we're sitting here on. There are matters which do not relate to what we're sitting on here, but relate to another investigation which this committee is also equally doing. And our sitting here is on the unremitted revenue. I will address the matter of the unremitted revenue. But equally, you have heard the issue on the reconciliation on the issue of subsidy and the meeting that you people are going to have. I will give you a choice, either to present the matter relating to this sitting now, or if you want to hold back until you meet on that aspect, you can stand by what you have submitted here. You can amend it as you feel otherwise. I will actually leave it purely up to you. Whichever you choose, which is okay, will be okay by the committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. May I say, Mr. Chairman, that some of those issues that the chairman says are subject to other investigations are directly related to the question of whether NNPC is repatriating money into the Federation account or not. Because NNPC has given a number of explanations for why money has not come. If NNPC, for example, says we have sold $6 billion worth of crude belonging to NPDC, and if the central bank believes that part of that money is money that should come to the Federation account, it is related to this matter. And those are kind of things captured in our presentation. So they've only come in because they are related to the question of whether NNPC is returning to the Federation all the amount it is constitutionally and legally required to return. So if I may just briefly, and again my presentation, hopefully when you have a session where we have detailed presentations, I can go into the details of that presentation. It's a 20-page presentation, I have 30 pages, 30 appendices there. But let us, Mr. Chairman, first of all agree on what has been paid into the central bank. NNPC did a presentation. We all agreed anyway that $14 billion out of the $67 billion they shipped came into the dollar account of the Federation. That is agreed. We have looked at FIRS numbers, and we have confirmed that $16 billion paid by international oil companies to the FIRS account. This is where the confusion starts. It was not paid by NNPC, paid by IOCs, was the proceeds of crude lifted in the name of NNPC, but sold on behalf of FIRS. That's $16 billion, which FIRS has confirmed, Central Bank has accepted. There is a $1.6 billion that DPR also received from IOCs, which was part of that crude, which Central Bank has accepted. And we have provided evidence that in the Naira crude, out of the $28 billion domestic crude shipped by NNPC, NNPC has repatriated $16 billion. Okay, so we have accounted at least money that has come into the central bank out of the $67 billion is $47 billion. So let us first of all make it clear that out of $67 billion NNPC shipped, $47 billion has been repatriated to the central bank. Now what we're talking about is the balance of the $20 billion and what explanations have been given. NNPC has said some of it does not belong to the Federation. So $6 billion NPDC. We have held the position that some of the crude shipped by NPDC is shipped from oil wells that belong to the Federation, JVs that Shell went out of, which NNPC took over and handed over to NPDC, which then handed over to two Nigerian companies, Atlantic Energy and Seven Energy, and transferred revenue that should come to the Federation to private hands. And I have given 3 legal opinions to this committee on the unconstitutionality and illegality of that transaction. Secondly, NNPC has explained that 80% of the money they have not repatriated came on kerosene and fuel subsidy. I have submitted to this committee written evidence of a presidential directive eliminating subsidy since 2009, and NNPC needs to provide its authority for buying kerosene at 150 naira from the Federation account and selling at 40 naira, and inflicting that loss on the Federation. NNPC has also said there is money that was PMS subsidy. I hear that reconciling with PPRA, but for us in the central bank, every month NNPC sends returns for FAC, and every month NNPC indicates how much it has deducted as PMS subsidy. From April 2012 to date, NNPC has submitted returns consistently showing it is deducting nothing before FAC from PMS. So we're surprised that having submitted nil returns since April 2012, we are now being told that in fact deductions were being made. Now, I don't know whether they were made or whether PPRA has approved them, and we will await the reconciliation with PPPRA. The other points about third-party financing, operating expenses, which were not appropriated, we have not seen any documentation or any proof. So all that we have said as central bank, and I think there's no disagreement, is that NNPC shipped $67 billion worth of crude. They have repatriated, or we have established that $47 billion has come back to the Federation. There is a $20 billion that has not come back. The burden of proof is on NNPC. But we have made suggestions that we question some of those explanations, and we believe that even some of that which has gone to NPDC does not belong to NPDC, but to the Federation. We are ready to discuss this further when the committee has examined our reports and all the documents and legal opinions. But I think all these matters are related.